At the very beginning of the Galactic Empire's existence from the old Galactic Republic, the Starfighter Corps was merged into the Imperial Navy, thus becoming an ancillary military navy branch, but still retaining its own rank plaque structure separate to the Imperial Navy line officers. This video focuses upon the Starfighter Corps ranks and some individuals who held specific positions within the military structure. Compared to the Imperial Military Navy and Army branches, Star Wars productions have had little focus on the Starfighter Corps, and so these ranks have not been covered as extensively. So let's start with the humble TIE Fighter pilot position. As the first TIE Line Starfighters and TIE Bombers rolled out of CNR Fleet Systems production, the first generation of TIE pilots were clones and survivors of the Republic's Starfighter Corps from the Clone Wars. Academy graduates were trained in their millions, and often TIE pilots were viewed as expendable, given the standard TIE starfighters had no shields and very little protection during combat. Vast numbers of Academy graduates emerged into service. Some pilots who lived long enough would eventually rise up the Imperial ranks. However, a TIE pilot's life expectancy was extremely short. All pilots wore a black flight combat suit and fully enclosed vacuum-sealed helmet displaying the Imperial crest. Visually, as seen briefly in both A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, the Starfighter Corps officers appeared wearing black officer uniforms with a black kepi cap. For example, Lieutenant Tambris reporting to Darth Vader as a specialized crew officer aboard the first Death Star, and both Captain Yor and Colonel Jendon of Onyx Squadron piloting Vader's shuttle. Tambris was wearing a black variant tunic officer uniform customized to the operations of the first Death Star, but also very similar to the Stormtrooper Corps officer's uniform. While Yor and Jendon, due to their honorary veteran status, also wore honorary black tunic officer uniforms. Other Starfighter Corps officers were also seen in the lineup, which greeted Darth Vader to the second Death Star, wearing their black flight combat uniforms with a kepi cap, instead of their vacuum-sealed pilot helmets. However, when any Starfighter officer was out of their combat suits, they would wear olive grey military tunic uniforms as the rest of the Imperial Line Navy ranks. Their rank insignia plaques would also align to the rest of the Imperial Navy Line branch. The lowest Starfighter commissioned officer was the rank of Flight Officer. The Specialist rank was the equivalent of the Navy Line rank of Ensign. They were responsible for assigning Imperial pilots to their missions, providing tactical analysis of a pilot's role, both pre- and post-flight, as well as explaining various hazards and ship movements they would expect. Before and after the Battle of Yavin, the flight officer's rank plaques would have displayed as shown. The next Starfighter commissioned officer was the rank of Flight Lieutenant, which was the equivalent of the Navy Line or the Army Line Lieutenant. A Flight Lieutenant led a small group known as a flight, which consisted of 4 starfighters. Before and after the Battle of Yavin, the Flight Lieutenant's rank plaque would have displayed as shown. The rank of Flight Captain would often assist flight academies by acting as an instructor to cadet pilots. In combat situations, a captain typically led a flight group consisting of 3 flights, totaling 12 starfighters. The rank of Flight Captain in the Starfighter Corps was the equivalent to the Navy Line Commander or an Army Line Captain. These officers would take part in important combat missions, becoming well-respected pilots. An officer known as Alvec was promoted to the rank of Flight Captain after seeing action in the Solist Uprising and earning a Distinguished Flight Medal. Before and after the Battle of Yavin, the Flight Captain's rank plaques would have displayed as shown. Although a commander in general is a generic address across the Imperial military branches and officer ranks, the rank of Flight Commander was the equivalent rank to a Navy Senior Commander or an Army Senior Captain. A flight commander also assisted in the flight academies by acting as a flight instructor to cadets. Flight commanders, also known as squadron commanders or squadron leaders, and would lead a TIE squadron consisting of several flights of TIE starfighters. Before the Battle of Yavin, the flight commander's rank plaques would have displayed as shown. The rank of Major in the Starfighter Corps would typically hold the combat position of second in command of a Starfighter wing as an aide to the wing commander, also known as a colonel. In combat, the Major would take command over squadron leaders. During the Empire's reign, Ter Fenner held the rank of Executive Officer of the 181st Imperial Fighter Group. The rank of Major was the equivalent rank in the Starfighter Corps to a Navy Line Captain and an Army Line Major. Before and after the Battle of Yavin, the Major rank plaques would have displayed as shown. Starfighter officers fortunate enough to reach the more executive rank of Colonel, also known as Wing Commander, would have certainly been decorated flight aces. Given the harsh and unforgiving environments TIE fighter squadrons were placed in, only extremely talented pilots would have made it to this rank. Although a colonel in the Starfighter Corps was the equivalent rank of the Army Line Colonel, both were the equivalent rank to the Navy Line of Senior Captain. They would have led a full fighter wing consisting of 6 squadron wings, totaling 72 TIE fighters, including TIE bombers. Throughout the Imperial military, this would have been the standard complement to an Imperial-class Star Destroyer. The colonel of the Starfighter Corps would have reported to the Imperial-class Star Destroyer's Navy Line captain as the overall commanding officer. Soontil Fel held this rank as its wing commander of the 181st Imperial Fighter Group. Before and after the Battle of Yavin, the colonel rank plaques would have displayed as shown. The very few Imperials who ever attained the rank of general in the Starfighter Corps were mostly extremely decorated pilot aces who would lead important Imperial missions. A general in the Starfighter Corps was the equivalent rank to the Navy Line Rear Admiral and an Army Line Major General. On rare occasions, a Starfighter General would have been promoted to the Navy Line rank of Admiral. However, instead, they were more likely to remain. Ace pilots such as Soontil Fel were awarded Baron of the Empire by Emperor Palpatine for his exceptional performance at the Battle of Dera 6. Also, the Starfighter branch title of Air Marshal was an honorary position awarded to exceptional pilots, but was not part of the official Imperial military rank structure. It must be pointed out that even though the Starfighter Corps were an integral part of the Imperial Navy, they were ultimately subservient to the Navy line structure and would be led by their direction in terms of military strategy. For more future Explained videos, please give a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and as always, long live the Empire.